Good morning and welcome to Presence of Light with charlierivermanbergeron. It's always a pleasure to be with you here. Seems I keep having a frog in my throat when I go to speak, but that's okay. I'll do the best I can. I just wanted to, right now, just light some Palo Santo and allow the smoke to rise and clear the space. We're heading into some energies that are changing and shifting. You can see the smoke rising. Just take a deep breath of that and know that this clearing and cleaning is really a part of our preparation and should always be part of our preparation, no matter what we engage in, when it is really about our highest self. And good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Julia. Good morning, Leonie, Marilyn, Joni. It's so nice to see each of you arriving. I'm glad I'm less nervous doing these talks and more comfortable with looking at the sidelines and my show notes and all of these things that my human brain has problems with. Today, this topic is really an amazing one. It's freedom and goodness. And it arose this morning as I was talking or texting with a dear friend that I was on a call with last night. And we are now entering into a very, very powerful field of energies globally that are providing us with an opportunity to really take deeper looks within ourselves and find those places where we are weak, where we feel inferior, where we are hurt, and really work on releasing them and engaging in true freedom and goodness. So with that sort of lead-in intro, I want us all to just take a moment to gather into our harmonic resonance as we play with these words, freedom and goodness. So this morning, from this book, The Still Voice, one of my, it's an old-time favorite of mine. I turned and opened, and it's it's about be calm. There we go. The other way, Charlie. That way. Be calm and steadfast. Be steadfast. Still not good at that. So just want everybody to just take a deep breath. Relax. Center yourself and listen to these words as they guide us into the stillness. Picture the shining six-pointed star. And as you breathe in, imagine that you are being filled with God's light, love, and strength, which is pouring down upon you from that star. You are bathed in light. The star is just above your head, and the rays from it, as they pour down through your head, and into your whole being, form a great protective cone of light in which you are held serene and secure. Allow that serenity and security to move through your physical presence and open the gateways to your higher presence as we journey this morning with the words freedom and goodness. So once again, thank you for being here in this sacred space. Thank you, Humanity Healing, for this opportunity to speak to the world, as we all are about to do in one way or another, as we tap into our freedom and goodness. So the word freedom came up as a card, an angel card, and the angel's name is Nizrock, and it's from the Kimberly Maroney card deck, which I've been working with since I came back from my near death, which I celebrated 28 years of having been back, fully embodied in my higher self on the 20th, which was, I think, last Monday. And it's a very meaningful crossroad for me to share with people. So the word freedom, when I first looked at it before reading anything about it, I played the song played in my head. I could hear Janis Joplin singing, "Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose." And it was interesting, as I looked up the definition, the word freedom means the state of not being imprisoned or enslaved. Aha. How many of us feel that in our daily lives, that somehow we're kind of trapped and it's not comfortable, and we don't know how to get out of that. We don't know how to really feel free anymore. And it doesn't matter what brings that up in you, the fact remains that you're feeling it. And this is what we are all to be breaking through. So for me, having come back from death, it didn't change a lot, as I'm still going through this process after 28 years. But I have a different point of view on the whole thing, because I can look at it from a higher part of who I am, a deeper, more connected presence of who I am. And I'm here to share with each of you that each of you have that higher presence and state of not being imprisoned or enslaved. And it's time now for all of us to look for it, to seek it out, to really become, I don't like the word obsessed, but create an obsession about how can I release all of this stuff that is keeping me from freedom and goodness. So my story, or a little part of my story, is the death experience, after which, you say, wow, how do I say thank you for this? Well, prior to my death, I had lost my job. I had lost my family through divorce. And I had all my material wealth, abundance, taken away through bankruptcy. When you take a deep breath into that and look at yourself, say, wow, these are my worst fears, aren't they? And yet, what that did to me was created me to go into a place of deep self-pity, and I became an alcoholic. And I was free from all of those things, but even still, I couldn't deal with it, and I became an alcoholic, ending up dying in a motorcycle crash. And coming back. What do you do now with fear? What do you do now with your anguish? So I share this story because at that point, I was totally free. I had lived. I had died. I had everything that humanity had to offer taken away, and yet here I was again. Here I am now talking to you. And I share with you this story because it's all about freedom and goodness. And that freedom and goodness was the freedom card of the angel blessings hit me the most this morning. It's Nizrock, an angel I never heard of. And he is the great eagle whose flight to heaven is the symbol of freedom. We could look at this and say, oh, that's coincidence. Or Charlie just pulled that card intentionally. He knew what was going on. And I'm here to share with you that most of my life does not happen because I plan it intensely with my mind. Every day I wake up with the expression of thank you. And I share this with people is because I know that life is a gift. Yes, there's hardships, there's pain, suffering. That's all part of life. But the whole package of life is a gift where we can experience this. And it's to be treated as the divine gift that it really is. In spite of all the suffering that's going on in the world, each one of us who choose freedom and goodness within ourselves will make a difference in the lives not only of ourselves, but in the lives of all those who are suffering. And the more of us who do this will raise the frequency so that it becomes instantaneous. So Nizrock was the great eagle who flew to the heavens, and he's the symbol of freedom. And freedom really becomes a deeper awareness of goodness. The goodness, what I wrote this morning in my notes here, is the goodness of the unconditional love of the eternal. I'm going to say that again. Excuse me. The goodness of the unconditional love of the eternal. I want you to think about yourself as an eternal being. I know that sounds crazy. To some of you, not so crazy. I'm not crazy. I've just experienced an amazing process that many of you who are listening may have experienced as well. And each of you are gifted with that opportunity now to choose to tap into that unconditional love of the eternal. Thank you, Marta, for your comment in the sidelines. Some people have evidently issues with the word God. Some people have issues with the word universe. Some of us have issues with words, period. Let go of the words. Tap into the energy of the word. Your fears are what bring up the questioning of all the words. Because most of the words we have been given to us with an intention to control us, to deny who we truly are in the world, and to do something for somebody else, to usurp our energy for their purpose, not ours. What is your purpose? This is what we're coming to. This is what it's all about, the changing of our conscious awareness. Our questioning needs to change. And in the changing of our questioning, the answers will change as well. Because right now we're looking at the world at great and greater levels of distrust and fear. Not only because of what we see, but because of what we're feeling. And it sets the human mind into this pattern of questioning everything we do, everything we say. Who can we talk to? How can we talk to this person? Etc. Questions I wrote down this morning in my notes. Am I on the right path? What should I be doing? Who can I trust? I'm not reading your minds. This is the collective mind of humanity right now. We're all tapping into this. There is no separation. There never has been. We've just been made to believe that there is. Each one of us are united in through the heart to each other. And yes, Lisa, you felt like you died when your son died. I know you did. I know you did. And for those of you who have lost loved ones, their death was a death within you as well. But I'm also here to say to you that you can communicate with them. You can talk to them. If you don't feel you can do it yourself, you can find others who will help you and assist you in that. Because there is no separation. And this is what it's all about, is us coming to the full realization of who we truly are. Powerful, amazing beings. And if we are these amazing, powerful beings, and we start to tap into that, freedom and goodness will prevail. And all the answers to all of those questions that I just came up with are within you. The problem is they're behind doors that we have closed because we couldn't deal with the pain or the suffering of the loss or the attack upon us. And so we keep these held inside. And we shrink away from the world around us in some level. And every time we do that, what we're doing is setting up the disbelief in the power of who we truly are, not only as individuals, but as a collective called humanity that was gifted this life on this planet Earth. It's all a gift. And when we start to look at life as a gift, and we start to see the pain and suffering around us and as the destruction of the gift that we were given, perhaps then we'll choose differently and say, I don't want this anymore. So right now, we are being given an opportunity to move into freedom and goodness beyond our imagining. Bless you, Linda, and bless your husband, who 8 years, still learning. Yes, as I said earlier, I'm 28 years and I'm still learning. We're always learning. And the gift is to trust that learning, to trust that this is us on our highest self, our true, what we would call connection with all that is, the Creator. But however you want to believe, and know that it's wholeness, it's wellness. And so I want each of you to think about all of this and what it might mean for you if you were to get rid of all of these stories and all of these fears, all of these issues that are continually coming up. What if you could just allow them to rise and say, goodbye, see you later. We come back to Janis Joplin, or Chris Christopherson, I think was the writer of the song. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. And this is where we're trapped. We're trapped in this idea that we can lose. There is no losing. We are winners. We are winners because we are here. We have one life, one with a W, and this is the gift of what we're here to do and encourage each other to break free of the illusions. And my purpose here today really feels about encouraging each of you to go deep within your hearts. Knowing that your power is far greater than your fear. That fear that we have of what will others think of us? What will others, how can we relate to them? That fear of, if I say something, somebody's going to hurt me. If I speak my truth, I'm going to be told no. I'm going to be ridiculed. I'm going to be slandered. I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my money. I'm going to lose my family. The price of freedom can be very costly. In terms of worldly power and gifts. But the freedom we get from tapping into this higher self overcomes it all. Doesn't mean you have to get on a talk show, doesn't mean you have to get on a soapbox, doesn't mean you have to run for president. But every day in your lives, the more you release all of these fears, you will find more and more freedom. And freedom automatically brings the goodness in you out to the surface to be used to encourage others. That's what it's about. Encouraging you to finally be seen and heard as the true self you are. You're amazing. The universe supports this. Our beliefs in a creator being support this. Whether you call it God, whatever you call it. We are all part of this whole beingness. And each one of you are miracle workers. You're magi. Blessed beings of amazing powers that have laid dormant for far too long. So my words today really are to encourage you to look at those fears and those feelings of lack within yourself as they arise. And ask them, and ask yourself, are you really doing anything for me? And do I really want to keep you any longer? Because the longer we hold on to this, the more we recreate the same problems in different forms. We create the separation. We create the distortion in the field. When I came back, it was funny this morning, I was talking with a friend, and it brought back a mantra. I call it my mantra that I wrote shortly within months after I came back from my near-death experience, because I couldn't explain what was happening to me on a human level. It was just beyond my comprehension. And these are the words that came through, and I've held them close to my heart as my mantra. I share them with you now. Every day is an adventure. It can be your wildest fantasy or your worst nightmare. You choose. Your wildest fantasy is a limited thought. And your worst nightmare is just an illusion. Allow those words to just settle into you and know that you are far more powerful than fantasy and illusion, because you are reality. And the reality is yours to choose if you so desire. I had something I was going to read as I closed, and as part of this still voice in my closing here, I'll just read the be calm and be steadfast. When you try to do things and they will not go the way you want, leave them alone. Do not try to force things the way you would like them to go. Just leave them alone. Do your best. Obey the law of love. And you will be surprised at how circumstances will work out far better for you than if you had your own way. Let God have his way, and you just be patient and wait. Be calm and steadfast and peaceful. Accept things as they come and do not be rushed into wrong decisions or overcome by the forces of ignorance. Be steadfast with a quiet inner, peaceful and persistent knowing that the great architect of the universe holds the plan of your life in his hands. The star, as we began with the six-pointed star, power is also a tender, loving, guiding power, a protecting power in your own lives. If each of you can surrender yourselves to the sweet and lovely star radiance, you will find that your pathway will be one of light and happiness and gentle peace. Nothing matters more in this spiritual than this spiritual life in you. It is the key to heaven, heaven on earth, as well as the heaven world after death. Bring heaven home. Whatever your vision of heaven or afterlife, bring it in now. Own it. Breathe it. Play with it. Find all the things in your life that don't resonate with it and say goodbye to them. I want to see you all shining as the stars that you truly are. With that, I'm complete. I hope my talk made sense this morning. It makes sense to me, but I'm not so sure how it gets interpreted as I speak it. Just know that I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. And together, we are unity. Have a great week, and I hope freedom and goodness taps you on the shoulder and says, how can I have more of that? Freedom and goodness, attributes of my divine self that I truly deserve to be living. Love you all. Thank you for all the little bubbles. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. Blessings to all of you and your families, and may all of your sadness be lifted a little, and know that you're not alone, that all of us are going through this simultaneously. Thank you, and bye-bye.